It's Sunday noon in Madrid. The bar is packed, the noise level is high, and people are standing shoulder to shoulder as the service moves fast. When you finally step up to the counter, the bartender gives you about 12 seconds to make your order before moving to the next person. If you pull out your phone to load up a translation app, that 12-second window closes. The rhythm is broken, and you've lost your spot. The standard Spanish you learn on free, gamified language apps is grammatically correct, but it fails in this environment. It sounds like a stiff customer service request, not a natural conversation. Knowing how to navigate those 12 seconds is the exact difference between standing on the outside of a tourist transaction and actually participating in a genuine local ritual. That ritual is called el vermú. It's a pre-lunch tradition specific to Madrid that runs strictly between noon and 2 in the afternoon. To get in on it, you don't wave or snap. You step up to the counter, make eye contact, and give a small nod. A standard order gets you a glass of red vermouth, a complimentary small tapa of olives or anchovies, and sometimes a paid portion of food. This flowchart maps out what happens next. Try the textbook path, and the interaction stalls out. Follow the local rhythm path, and you get your drink and tapa served immediately. Fitting into this environment doesn't require a massive vocabulary. It simply requires knowing the precise sequence of events. To see exactly how to adapt, this matrix compares standard classroom Spanish with the actual phrases used in Madrid bars. Apps teach you to say quiero, I want, but locals use the verb poner, to put. They ask me pones. Asking, can you put a vermouth in front of me, matches the bartender's casual speed. Saying, I want, sounds unnecessarily rigid. When it is time to agree to another round, the matrix shows another split. You drop the formal de acuerdo and use the highly casual Madrileño phrase, venga va. The rules apply to the food, too. Textbooks teach you to ask for una ración de, a portion of something. But to get this jamón, a local abbreviates the request. They simply ask for una de jamón, skipping the formal descriptors entirely. Dropping classroom habits for these specific colloquial phrases immediately lowers social friction and signals to the bartender that you understand how their space works. Your physical behavior matters just as much. In a space this dense, asking for a physical menu or standing rigidly at the counter disrupts the flow of service. Instead, read the tapas written on the chalkboard above the bar, order quickly, and step slightly aside so the person behind you can cycle through. This bar chart compares financial etiquette. Notice that whether you leave a 20% American-style tip or simply round up your spare change, the impact on your service quality remains perfectly flat. Over-tipping here doesn't buy you better treatment. It just loudly broadcasts that you don't know the local norms. And because you're in a fast-paced standing bar, you frequently pay immediately after each drink arrives by handing over your card and saying ahora mismo, meaning right now. Forcing sequential foreign dining norms onto a communal Madrid space creates unnecessary friction. Blending in requires adopting the local behavioral cadence alongside the vocabulary. Where you are in the city dictates the rules of the game. Around central tourist zones like Puerta del Sol, bartenders are focused on volume. If you hesitate, they will likely override your Spanish and switch to English to speed up the transaction. If that happens, you can politely reclaim the interaction by saying, prefiero practicar el español. It shows effort and often earns their respect. But move into more multicultural or traditional neighborhoods like Lavapiés near the Cine Doré, and the rhythm changes completely. In these areas, using local slang and understanding the fast-paced etiquette is no longer optional. It is practically mandatory to get smooth service. Your physical location ultimately determines whether generic app translations will suffice, or if true dialect fluency is required. This decision tree maps out how you should prepare, based entirely on your travel goals. If your primary aim is to check off sites and eat near your hotel, generic language apps are a perfectly adequate tool. You just have to accept that taking this low-effort route keeps you firmly inside the highly transactional tourist bubble. But if your goal is to experience authentic cultural rituals like el vermú alongside locals, standard Spanish becomes a liability. To optimize for that genuine experience, you have to actively choose to ditch the standard curriculum and invest in specific dialect training. That is exactly what the Street Tongue app is designed for. It bridges the gap between the textbook and the reality of a Madrid bar. By subscribing to their Max plan before your trip, you gain full access to hyper-local slang and dialect guides. The tool gives you unlimited pronunciation checks. Put the reps in early and you ensure you sound comfortable, not rehearsed during that critical 12-second window. Click the link in the description to download Street Tongue and start your localized preparation today. And before you go, drop down into the comments and tell us your biggest lost in translation failure. We might analyze it in a future video.